Concrete works is estimated by taking the volume of each member. Check the estimation of concrete works for a small bungalow structure. You are in quantity surveying. The plans necessary to estimate concrete works are the floor plan, showing the width and the length of the building, and the location of openings, where we need the doors and windows schedules. Beneath the grade is the foundation, so the foundation plan is also required. This shows the designation of the column and footings, then also the wall footings, which means there isn't any beam underground. There is also the roof beam plan, and the details of the columns and the roof beams. We also need to know the height of the building to be able to identify the location of the roof beam and the height of the columns, and also the details of the typical footing F1. The instruction is to estimate the concrete works using concrete mix class A. This is for simplicity, but then the slab on grade and pavement usually adopt concrete mix class B. Let's start with the footings. Extract out the foundation plan, where we can note that there are 6 footings designated as F1. The footings are typical all throughout the structure. We also need the footing details to know the width of the footing, which is 0.9 meters square, and thickness of 0.4. Now take the volume by multiplying 6 units of 0.9 by 0.9 with 0.4, which results to 1.944 cubic meters. Since the footing is poured directly on the soil, we use 10% wastage allowance. That makes 1.1 times 1.944, which then becomes 2.1384 cubic meters. All members touching the soil need a bed, and from the plan, it is shown that we should provide 3 inches of gravel. Estimate these two with 6 units of 0.9 by 0.9 with 0.075 or 3 inches, and this gives 0.3645 cubic meters. If we are to compute for the quantities of materials for each member, we use Class A mix, where cubic meter concrete requires 9 bags of cement, half cubic of sand, and a cubic of gravel. Knowing the volume to be poured, we can then use the proportions, like for cement, we have 9 bags multiplied by the volume of 2.1384, giving 19.2456 bags. This is then rounded up to 20 bags. For sand, we have 0.5 times the volume to get 1.0692 cubic meters, rounded off to 1.5 cubic meters. Then gravel has a proportion of 1 multiplied by the volume. However, we need to add the volume of the gravel bed, now giving 2.5029 cubic meters, rounded to 2.5 cubic meters. Let's estimate the columns next. Using the foundation plan, we can see that there are also 6 columns springing out from the footings. We measure their height by using the elevation, where the column has a height of 3.2 meters from the natural grade line. This measures until the top of the beam. To measure the portion underneath NGL, we check the footing detail. The column goes down the natural grade line until the bottom of the footing at 0.9 meters, which means the column underground is 0.5. The total height of the column is then computed as 0.9 less 0.4 or 0.5 below NGL and 3.2 meters above, giving 3.7 meters. The column schedule also shows the cross-sectional dimension of columns as 0.3 by 0.3. Thus, we can compute for the volume by taking 6 units with 0.3 by 0.3 and 3.7. So the volume of columns is 1.998 cubic meters. Add the wastage allowance, but this time, since columns are poured in enclosed forms, we use 5%. The column volume including wastage is then 1.05 of 1.998, which is 2.0979 cubic meters. We individually provide the materials for columns with volume of 2.0979 cubic meters. Using Class A concrete mix, we multiply the proportions. For cement, there is 9 times 2.0979 cubic meters, which shows 18.8811 bags, or that is 19 bags. Sand multiplies the volume by half a cubic meter, giving 1.04895, rounded to 1.5. Then, the gravel uses a factor of 1 cubic meter for each cubic meter of concrete, leaving 2.0979 cubic meters, rounded to 2.5 cubic meters. Next are the wall footings. The foundation plan shows the wall footings of the structure. We compute the length starting with the two long lines under grids A and B. Note that the dimensions provided are taken on centers. So even when the full length is 6 plus 4 or 10 meters, we take the columns out of the spans. There are half the column width or 0.15 on both ends, then the full column width of 0.3. The length then is 6 plus 4 less 0.15 from one end, then 0.3 from the middle, and 0.15 from the opposite end. The net length of wall footing for grids A and B is 9.4 meters. The wall footing on grid 1 has columns on both ends. Taking the on-center length of 6 meters, take out 0.15 from both ends, giving 5.7 meters. Take the next grid. The wall footing can be laid out with columns on both ends. Then, there are also two doors. The doors replaces walls, placing footing beneath irrelevant. So the net length of wall footing of grid 2 is then 6, less the two columns on the ends, then also the two bedroom doors of 0.9 meter width. The net length is then 3.9 meters. The third grid still has a span of 6 meters, although this is where the entrance door is located. So the length is then reduced by the columns on either side and the width of the entrance door. That's 6 less twice of 0.15 and 1, giving 4.7 meters. From what we have computed, the long spans on grids A and B are 9.4. On grid 1 is 5.7. On grid 2 is 3.9. Grid 3 has 4.7 meters. Then don't forget the wall footing for the partition between grids A and B. It takes the full length of 4 meters. Take the summation of the lengths, not forgetting that grids A and B are similar. The total turns out to be 37.1 meters. A standard cross-section of wall footing shows a width of 0.3 and thickness of 0.15. So the volume of wall footing is then 0.3 by 0.15 by the length of 37.1, giving 1.6695 cubic meters. Add a wastage allowance of 10% as wall footings are poured on the ground. 1.1 by 1.6695 is then 1.83645 cubic meters. And since it touches the ground, a gravel bed is necessary, and we still use 3 inches. The volume of gravel bed is computed as the width of 0.3 times the length of 37.1 by the thickness of 3 inches, giving 0.83475 cubic meters. With the volumes accounted, we are again to use concrete class A mix. Cement is then 9 times the volume, resulting to 16.52805 bags, or 17 bags. Sand multiplies the volume by 0.5, giving 0.918225 cubic meters, rounded to 1. Then for gravel, multiply 1 with the volume, then add the volume required for the bed. The gravel needed is then 2.6712, then rounded to 3 cubic meters. Let's move on to the estimation of the roof beams. The beam plan shows the location of the typical roof beam RBM1. Just like the computation of the wall footings, we break down each length. For grids A and B, we take the spans 6 and 4. Then take out the columns, that is 0.15 from both ends and 0.3 from the middle. This reduces the length to 9.4 meters. Next are grids 1 and 3, the span of which is 6 meters, then reduced by half of the column width from both ends. So the length is 6 less twice of 0.15, making it 5.7 meters. Take the summation of lengths, that is 9.4 from grids A and B, then 5.7 from grids 1 and 3. Multiply these lengths by 2 for each grid, and take the summation as 30.2 meters. The cross-sectional dimensions are provided in the schedule, showing 0.25 by 0.35 meters. The volume of beams is then 0.25 by 0.35 times the length of 30.20, resulting to 2.6425 cubic meters. Add 5% wastage allowance, making the volume 1.05 by 2.6425, or that is 2.774625 cubic meters. To take the quantities of materials for the roof beams, we use Class A mix. So, for cement, multiply the volume by 9 and have 24.970725 bags, rounded to 25 bags. Sand then multiply 0.5 by the volume and come up with 1.3872625 cubic meters, rounded to 1.5. Gravel multiplies 1 to the volume, giving 2.774625 cubic meters, rounded to 3. We are down to the slabs. For slab 1, we approach dimensions using areas instead of lengths. The area to be concretized is 6 by 6. However, we need to take out a part of the columns, that is 0.15 by 0.15. The total area is then 6 times 6 less 4 units of 0.15 by 0.15. The reduced area is then 35.91 square meters. With the instructed slab thickness of 4 inches, the volume is then 0.1 of 35.91, giving 3.591 cubic meters. Then add the 10% wastage allowance, so 1.1 of 3.591 is 3.9501 cubic meters. We also have to account for the gravel bed. The volume of gravel is then 3 inches thickness times the area of 35.91, where the volume then is 2.69325 cubic meters. With the volume already known, we again use Class A. So for cement, multiply 9 by the volume and get 35.5509, rounded off to 36 bags. Sand has 0.5 times the volume to give 1.97505, or 2 cubic meters. Then gravel is 1 times the volume. Then add the volume for gravel bed, which is 2.69325. Sum up to 6.64335 cubic meters, rounded off to 7. The procedure for estimating slab 2 is similar. Take the whole area regardless of the partition. From this area, take out the overlap portion of the columns. So the area is then 6 by 4, less 4 units of 0.15 by 0.15. And this gives 23.91 square meters. With 4 inches thickness, the volume then is 0.1 by 23.91, giving 2.391 cubic meters. Add the 10% wastage allowance, making it 1.1 of 2.391, or that is 2.6301 cubic meters. There is also the gravel bed, where the volume is 3 inches of the area, or that is 1.79325 cubic meters. With both volumes already known and again using Class A mix, we can compute for the quantities, where for cement, we multiply the volume by 9 to come up with 23.6709 rounded to 24 bags. Sand is then 0.50 of the volume, giving 1.31505 cubic meters, rounded to 1.5. Then gravel is 1 times 2.6301, with the volume of the gravel bed, which is 1.79325, resulting to 4.42335, or 4.5 cubic meters. Usually, rounding off quantities are done after everything has been estimated. So if we summarize the quantities of each member, we take the total. Making cement 138.847275 bags, sand with 7.7137375 cubic meters, and gravel of 21.113325 cubic meters. Then we round off total quantities, giving 139 bags of cement, 8 cubic meters of river sand, and 21.5 cubic meters of 3/4 inch gravel.